as I'm waiting for this to boot up, do you have any questions, sort of logistical, practical questions about the grant? Some of you have been contacted about your checks. We're still waiting on a number of others. Yeah.
Is Tina back?
She is. Yeah. Thank God, yes, she is. For my sanity as well as yours. She is back. I think the office is actually functioning again.
Did we get to know our test scores though?
Did she not? Didn't Tina explain how the test scores are reported? No. Okay. My understanding is that it's about 10 days afterwards they report them to us. And I believe we are just going to wait for you to request them. But I thought Tina had explained that. I'll have to go back and look at her protocol sheet for the testing. If it's not been explained, what we may do is just send out individual emails. But we will get that information to you. That's actually how we did it last year, is we sent out individual emails. But what we may do is just sort of keep that on file. You stop by and we give it to you on a slip of paper because of confidentiality. It's almost like grading in a certain case. It's not clear if FERPA laws apply.
Could you send an email just saying that they are, or is it? It's not for. It's for every person at different times it comes back, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So and then I can't. It's
yeah.
Fine. But what I will do is make sure an email goes out. It'll probably come out from Tina, sort of elucidating what this process is and how you'll be notified. But generally, the time frame is about 10 days for them. Particularly if you did telephonics, it takes a little longer. A lot of those testers are abroad when they're testing you. We have a lot of native speakers in Italy, in Saudi Arabia doing the testing. So I have no idea why it's taking this long. The machine was off when I came up here, so we're at the mercy of everything. Oh wow! Any other questions? Okay. A quick clarification. I'll just add it now rather than at the end. I do have sort of a separate reading for you that I will send you via email because I don't want to kill massive amounts of trees. But it's sort of a safety and security briefing. A lot of it is culled from OIS material because I'm required to give you that. But a lot of it is other resources that I think you'll find quite useful. I know some of you are going to very safe and secure locations, so we'll try to balance some really practical advice like how not to be pickpocketed or punched in the eye with some of the more nuanced and sophisticated understanding of safety and security in second and third world situations where there are authoritarian governments, where there are sort of dangerous protests that you'll need to avoid. I might tell you a story about one that I got caught in when I was younger. Anyway, but those are the things we'll talk about, and that'll be the reading that I will send out probably tomorrow during the day. This is the slowest computer I've ever encountered. It's unfortunately I know what it is. It's I shouldn't say this on tape, but it's Notre Dame's OIT security policies. They have so many security protocols that need to run. It's like this, for example, which you can't turn on. That slows down the machine. Apparently it's safer if we open up 12 windows when I try to open one. It confuses the hackers. And now it's frozen. All right, don't look at the mushy subject lines from my wife. Hurt your eyes.
Wait, I'm not looking? Does it still work? Like when we were kids? Don't look!
Yeah, exactly. Or you can hide like my dog does. And my dog thinks that if she can't see me, then I can't see her. So she'll go and hide in the corner and like stick her head in the corner and think she's hidden. Wow, this is slow.
It's worse when it's slow on your inbox and you're all exposed. Like over the titles.
That's true, yeah. I got away from that.
Uh-oh, you're That yanks the two.
I'm going to send this portion of our video to OIT so they can see.
Thank you, yeah.
Note to self, bring flash drive next time. It might be faster for me to run upstairs to my office, put this on a flash drive.
We'll be good.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, something's happening. I really shouldn't have disparaged OIT earlier because now I can't show the video.
Not responding.
Oh, I can't wait to show you the YouTube videos that I have embedded in the PowerPoint. I'm sure that'll just, I should probably load them now.
So how many lectures is this while we're waiting?
I'll tell you afterwards. I'll get started. All right, let me get to it. All right, a pretty cover slide. All right, here's where I'd like to start. I'd like to start with a quote from Edward Sapir, the lesser known Cape Crusader of the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which I think we mentioned. It was week 1. And the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, claims that our perception of the world is actually influenced, and in some ways, the strong version of the hypothesis that is determined by the language that we speak. So Sapir and Whorf, respectively, sort of posited that language and culture were sort of one and the same and very inextricably intertwined. And they sort of worked upon one another in a way that changed the way, or affected the way we see and think and perceive the world. And while that may be a little too strong for a lot of the empirical evidence to the contrary, this idea that language and culture need to coexist is an important one, and largely one that can sort of be justified through rationalization. So there's a very nice quote that I picked out a few years ago, and I've used it over and over again, so I thought I'd present it to you here, and just because I know you love hearing my beautiful voice, I'm going to read it to you. So this comes from Sapir's book, Language, the Study of Speech, 1921, so it's a new one. And he says, "It is of course true that in a certain sense the individual is predestined to talk. But that is due entirely to the circumstance that he is born not merely in nature, but in the lap of a society that is certain, or reasonably certain, to lead him to its traditions. Eliminate society, and there's every reason to believe that he will learn to walk, if indeed he survives at all. But it is just as certain that he will never learn to talk, that is, to communicate ideas according to the traditional system